joining from all across the country. I welcome you all to this online platform of the Aligarh Muslim University. I know some of you are from AMU itself. Dr. Farah, I can recognize you. And all of you from different disciplines and from different states, from different regions, from different universities. Some might be central universities, some might be colleges, some might be state universities. However, what unites us here on this platform is our willingness to learn about the National Education Policy 2020, is our willingness to implement this policy for the quality and excellence of the higher education sector. It is also our willingness to take our country towards becoming a Vishwamitra of the world and in the future. We have a very rich legacy of Nalanda and Takshashila, and we have shown to the world our scientific temper also, and our allegiance to knowledge, not just knowledge acquisition, but also knowledge creation and knowledge collation. So all of us teachers here at this platform who are all ready to listen to Professor Anisur Rahman Sahab, I welcome you. I know that you are up for 2 sessions every day with us, each day on a relevant theme, and there are 8 themes for this. Today, I'm sure Professor Rahman will be speaking to you, I think, on higher education and society. But there are so many others. There's ICT, there's Indian knowledge system, there's skill development, there's academic leadership, there's multidisciplinary and holistic education. And these are all vital, these are all critical, these are all pivotal, I must say, to the new shape that higher education has started to take slowly and gradually, and is destined to take in a big way. In 15 years' time, we will all have our own board of governors. In 15 years' time, we have to implement our institutional development plan. And by now, I think all of you must be in the second or in the third or the 5th semester of the FYUP. So in this course, my dear participants, we expect you to be present, to be regular, to be punctual, and to be attentive to the resource person. You will have time to discuss or to ask any questions. If you have to, then please don't unmute yourself without being given a chance. Raise your digital hand, and your digital hand is here at the bottom middle from the left, slightly towards the left of the bottom of your screen. So please use that to say something. You don't have to present your screen at any given point of time in the entire lecture. This is a very important etiquette of an online lecture because it will disturb the presentation of the resource person. Our medium of instruction is English because, as you can see, the group is pan-India. We have special regard for our participants, our friends joining us from the southern states of the country. But all our resource persons are also capable of answering your queries in a bilingual manner. So I'm sure the presentation will be in English, but if there is a friend from one of the Hindi-speaking states who has a problem with pure English, I'm sure Professor Anisur Rahman or any other resource person will be kind enough to oblige. Today, you will appear for 1 MCQ, that is your first MCQ, and at the end of this course, you will also appear for another MCQ. It is mandatory for everyone to appear and to perform in both the MCQs if you want to have the certificate. Your scores will be generated at the end of this MCQ itself, and you will know what marks you have obtained, and within a few days of the completion of the course, your certificates will be given to you. I'm sure Dr. Aftab will be introducing in due terms Professor Anisur Rahman, but I cannot go from here without saying what a dear senior colleague Professor Anisur Rahman is and has been. When he was the director of Jamia, I was the assistant director here with Professor Kidwai. We always looked up to him for his position there, and he was always there to guide us and to give us a friendly advice. I still depend on him a lot for any friendly advice. Professor Rahman was the one who spoke on behalf of all of us, the directors of the HRDC, when the Minister of Education had called us in an online meeting, but he was present there physically. And when our names were changed from HRDC to MMTTC last year on the occasion of the Teachers' Day. So I'm sure Professor Rahman will be duly introduced by Dr. Aftab, but I take particular pleasure and pride and honor in having him here. And sir, we will keep having you here again and again. We will keep troubling you. So thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much, madam. Thank you so much for having me and for having given the great chance to interact with the galaxy of intellectuals. Thank you once
Thank
again
you very much. Thank
for
you.
this
Please, sir.
great opportunity indeed.
Yes, and we look forward to having you over again and again. Dr. Aftab, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for making my work more easier. Uh, Without any delay, participants, I would like to introduce today's resource person, Professor Dr. Anisur Rahman Sahab. Anisur Rahman Sahab was a director of UGC HRDC, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. He holds master degree in two disciplines, that is economics and sociology, from Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. He did his MPhil and PhD from JNU. Before he joining Jamia Millia Islamia in 1999, he worked at the Institute of Applied Manpower Research Planning Commission, Government of India. His area of research includes South Asian migration and diaspora, Gulf social demography, issues of higher education and minority education. He has published 5 well-recognized books and 50 research papers in various journals of repute in India and abroad, including his contribution as a chapter in edited books by well-known scholars. Dr. Rahman has presented more than 70 research papers in various conferences, seminars, and workshops in India and abroad. He has visited several countries like USA, UK, France, Germany, and Netherlands, and also Sweden, Denmark, and Switzerland. He also visited Paris, France, and Indo-French Social Scientist Exchange Program thrice for research activities in 2010, 2013, and 2015, respectively. He has delivered over 100 invited talks and lectures at different institutions of higher education and higher education learning in India and abroad. He is also a member of several academic committees, bodies, and editorial boards. Participants, these are the very few, and I will say the brief introduction of Professor Anisur Rahman Sahab. If you know, and if you wish to know much more about his career, I would like to suggest you to visit on the website of Jamia Millia Islamia, and you will find his detailed CV, which can, I hope that, and I'm sure that which will inspire you and inspire the young fellow and young teachers like us. With these words, I would like to request Professor Anisur Rahman Sahab to please discuss and speak on the today's topic, higher education system and role of 21st century. Now the mic
Thank
over to you.
you. Thank you so much indeed for very kind words, very kind introduction. Thank you once again for having me and for providing this wonderful opportunity to share my thoughts and experiences, whatever I have had. So I will definitely not disappoint you. So let me try to come up to your expectations. So thank you so much, Dr. Aftab Bhai, and the director of this center, Professor Faiza Abbasi Saiba, for having me and for providing this platform so that I could at least try my level best to perform up to your expectation. And it was rightly pointed by the director of this center that this program, which is now called as NEP Orientation and Sensitization Program, which is basically made for all the university and the college, or means those who are working in the higher education institution. So we all know that the very philosophy behind this program is to make us rather more aware of this fact of what is the relevance, importance, and significance of the National Education Policy 2020. How this, of course, technically speaking, this policy has already been implemented, no doubt about that. But as how to make this the policy a grand success or great success, I think it has been thought that unless until we the teachers, we the faculty come forward and participate or to facilitate in order to implement in true sense of the term in later and spirit, I think our nation is not going to be benefited optimally. So for the maximum or optimization of the benefit of this national education policy, the role of the teacher becomes very important. Role of the teacher means we the teachers become very, very important one. Hence, it is thought by the policy makers and the government of India that let us sensitize, let us motivate to all of us. Means the teachers who is estimated to be around 1.5 million, means plus 15 lakhs teachers are working in the sector of higher education. Of course, the other stakeholders are also very important, like government of India, policy makers, and those who are at the hem of the top level managerial positions, means those who are at the top level holding the key positions in the university and the colleges, and those who are basically working at the middle level functionary and support staff or administrative staff, as education is considered to be one of the system. So for making this system a great system or effective system, I think there's a need on the part of each and every stakeholder to play a very key role or profound role. But again, if you see the role of the teachers, which takes the center stage, means that is the most important factor or the stakeholder of higher education is the teachers. Hence, we all are being given this kind of sensitization program. The very name suggests and says that NEP orientation and sensitization program. So we all have a symbol here in the fact that we all have connected or joined this program to sensitize ourselves. And it is again highlighted by the director that 8 themes have been given. If you see the 8 themes, I think these all themes are interconnected or interrelated, and these all themes are going to reinforce, is going to strengthen the functioning of the National Education Policy 2020. Hence, it is thought that let us try to understand and the very essence and the philosophy of this National Education Policy 2020. If you see the time frame, I think it all took 5 years to concretize this National Education Policy. The committee was constituted in 2016, so it took 5 years. So in 2020, it took the shape, and it has been revised. It has been also put in the public domain. So a lot of suggestions and the feedbacks have been taken. So I think if you see the draft report of this national education policy, it was running into 400 plus pages. But now it has been made very concise so that we, the teachers, could understand with a very short span of time. And I'm sure that we all have must gone through this national education policy. It is hardly 60 or 64 pages is now there, so it has been made concise so that we could with a very little time we can understand and we can study. And again, I am urging you, I think we need to understand the very essence of this national education policy, and the philosophy behind this program is to why it is organized, so that we can at least sensitize ourselves, we can motivate ourselves, so that we can study more critically, more deeply, so that it could be made rather more implementable. So here the theme to which I have been assigned is higher education and society. Two very important dimensions we are going to. So how the role of higher education is there. So how higher education is going to play its role in order to make a society a better society, progressive society. In fact, how education is going to lead for the progress and development of the society. Many issues, many challenges are there. If you see the scenario of higher education in our own country, I think it is considered to be one of the third largest system, means third largest system in the world. But if you see the requirement of our own society, if you see the quality, in terms of quality, even in terms of the access to higher education to the entire population, there is a serious catch, there is serious mismatch, there is serious challenges. So we as a faculty, we as a intellectual of the society, we need to play our role so that we will be able to contribute immensely for the progress and the development of the society. Higher education, or education in fact, is considered to be very important tools through which social progress and social change, social transformation, all these processes are going to be strengthened. And we are expected to play a very profound and a key role in this arena, in this area. And here we need to understand what are the challenges before the society, what are the challenges before the higher education, and what as a faculty we can do so that higher education in fact can become the vehicle, or can become the engine, or can become the catalyst for the progress and development, economic development of this great nation. And we also know pretty well that the whole world is globalized. So due to the globalization, I think many benefits now we are going to reap, or many benefits that is available to all of us. So what basically is required, that so that we will be able to catch, or we will be able to grab this opportunity. Of course, every aspect or everything has the positive and the negative aspect. So how we can look at the positive side or the strong points of the globalization? We all see that today, now we are living in this area, AI, artificial intelligence, or the huge transformation of technology, ICT era, or the knowledge society era we are living. So how we are going to take advantage of all these opportunities? Challenges equally, if you see, I think challenges are equally very pertinent. But how we as a teacher, we as a intellectual, we as a academician, how we can play our role so that the challenges could be converted into the opportunity. So our job is to convert challenges into the opportunity. Once we will be able to do this kind of exercise, definitely our society as a whole is going to be benefited. So taking this key into the mind, I think it is also because it also becomes very important to discuss some of the challenges, great challenges, and challenges are before all of us. So of course there is a opportunity also. So we need to search out of the challenges, or to explore the opportunity and the possibility out of these challenges. So here I would like to discuss with you some of the our India. India is having a lot of challenges. Along with that, how these challenges could be converted into the reality or into the opportunity. So that is where the role of the teacher steps in. And we all know that we are big in number, absolute sense of the term, but many more kind of opportunities can be grabbed by all of us. So let me tell you that India, we all know that since very recently, India has replaced China. So you must be wondering in what way India has replaced in terms of the population. Means India has become the first country or the most populous country on the world, on the earth. You must be wondering what is the good point in that. I think again, if you see, there's a silver line is existing in that one. You also at the same time, we also get to know, or you have got to know that India is called as a country of youth, or India is also called as a young country. And we also know that India is a demographic dividend country. Means India is passing through the a stage of demographic dividend. You must be wondering what is this? I think why we call it India is a demographic dividend. There's a logic in that sense that two-thirds of the population, it means 66% plus population belongs to the category of the age group of 15 to 35. So we all know that that is the most important active or the working age group. So 66 or approximately 70% our population belongs to, means we are living and we are having the opportunity of youths. So now the question arises that if it is so, I think now there's a chance and there's an opportunity before the nation as how we are going to convert this population, young population, into the human capital or the human resource. And we also know pretty well that it could be only made possible with providing education, a rightful kind of education and training and skills, and along with that healthcare also becomes important. Means here it becomes very important to discuss with you how we are going to enhance quality, how we are going to provide access to education to this young mind, so that we will be able to convert this population. I'm sorry, just a second, please. Just a second, please. Yes. So how we will be able to convert this population into the human capital? Already, I think some sort of resources becomes very important. One is the teacher, to which we say that we have the number of big number in the sense that 15 lakhs teachers are working in this arena. So how we are going to provide access to education means providing skills, providing training, providing education, rightful kind of education. So then we will be able to convert this human capital, we will be able to convert this youth into the human capital or the human resource. And I am also giving you some of the examples. I'm sure that you all are listening to me, I guess. ठीक है, आप लोग सुन रहे हैं वैसे? I hope you all are listening to me, hearing me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so here I would also like to put it before you that I will also give you opportunity in the sense that time, so that you could raise your own questions, observations, queries. So I'm going to welcome you all in the form of questions, observations, comments. But before, I think you give me some more time so that I could give you the introduction. What basically we are, since we all are the intellectuals, we are the teachers. So let me tell you, I think I will also show you some of the slides, but just I'm giving you the some, just I'm placing some of the arguments at the pinpoint some of the larger issues to which we need to capture, to which we need to understand, so that we could make our class a wonderful class or the learner centric class, and how we can also do our research, because one of the areas or the themes to which you all are going to listen is student diversity and inclusive education. At the same time, research and development, and of course, Indian knowledge system. It was rightly pointed by the director that we are we have had the very great system in the past, of the ancient times, Nalanda Vishwavidyalaya, and then Vikramshila, and many more universities were existing. So what basically, what was the feature of this university? They used to attract the foreign scholars, but now the situation has gone reverse, in the sense that today we claim and we say that we have the third largest system in the world. But every year we are losing a lot of students. They are going to the European university like Germany, and then many more North American university like United States of America, Canada, or Australia. So in a way, we are losing our remittances, we are losing our money. So now how we can ameliorate the condition, or how we can assure the condition, how we can enhance the quality in our higher education, so that we will be able to retain these young minds or these students, so in a way we will not lose our money. And here I would like to share some of the very important points. One point is, we all know that if you see the data provided by the World Bank, so India has become the first country in terms of the receipt of the remittances. Means on account of the outflow of the human capital or the human resource, they are remitting a huge remittances to our own country. Since 2008 or 9, India has replaced China, or India has left China far behind. So if you see the data, latest data provided by the World Bank, that the total remittance volume of the remittances has gone up to 125 billion US dollars. So it's a huge amount India has received, or India has started receiving every year. So the volume of remittances is increasing, and this is all happening on account of our human capital who that has been sent to different parts of the world. If you see our extended neighborhood, or the immediate neighborhood, that is called West Asia or Islamic world, Arab world, that is known by different name. That is one of the area of my interest and specialization. I have worked extensively in this area. So 9 million means 90 lakhs Indians are working in that region, and they are remitting a huge remittance to India. So here it becomes very important to discuss, in the sense that how we are going to compete or consolidate our receipt, or the inflow of the remittances is again very important. Since a lot of Indians have gone abroad, young minds, they are emitting, and they are also to a larger extent, or to some extent, they are also reducing the burden in terms of the unemployment. So what my argument is that if we will be able to convert this young population into the human capital, they are going to become the big assets for the nation, economic or the strategic assets, as we often call that, the diaspora. Where in any country, if you go, Indian diaspora, you will find it, and migrants or the Indians, overseas Indians, you will find it, and the number has gone up to 32 to 33 million Indians are there. So when our dignitaries or the prime minister goes to different parts of the world, some of the countries, they address. So what basically my argument is that, if we will be able to convert this population into the human capital, so it will become the big economic assets for this nation. And here I would like to remind you, and I would like to share with you, that every day we are saying and considering that by 2047, there's a vision on the part of India that India is going to become the developed nation. So it's the target, it's the vision, it's a dream. So how this dream could be brought into the reality, unless until we, the teachers, we, the higher education people, are going to work in this direction? The reality, I think, dream could never be realized into the realities. For that, what could be the strategy we can do? So one strategy, one of the important strategy to which we need to do is to enhance the quality of higher education, and to provide the access to the education to the majority of the population, young population at least. And if you see these recommendations in the national education policy, many recommendations are there. But one of the very important and pertinent recommendation is that we need to enhance or increase the gross enrollment ratio, higher education gross enrollment ratio, to 50%. That has been clearly said. See, right now we are hovering, and we are having the gross enrollment ratio of 26 to 27%. See, we have been working very hard. We are working sincerely, and we have achieved the level of 26 to 27%. For the last 75 years since independence, we have had the journey of 75 years, and we have achieved the target of 26 to 27%. And by 2035, target has been given that we need to achieve the target of another uh, 50%, means another 25% or 24%. So time is limited in the sense hardly how many years are left. Not more than that. I think 11 or 12 years are left. And we need to have a big target, means we need to make it double almost. So now the question arises how? And on the other hand, we say that 6% of the GDP would be spent, public expenditure would be available for education as a whole. But I am still wondering, and you must also wonder, for the last 45 years, we have been promising that 6% of the GDP would go for education, as it was rightly pointed or recommended in 1968 when we brought first national education policy. Again, it was repeated and reiterated in the last national education policy, which got implemented in 1986. And again, we have said, and see the scenario, where do we stand? I think if you see the budget, I think last budget, I think it was only 2.5%, 2.9%. So now it has come down to 2.5%. I think so. We are not paying. What I mean to say that we are not paying much attention. So there's a need to pay much attention, as it is clearly said. Many theories are there, empirical studies are available. Unless until we go and give the importance and the priority to two sectors, social sector, education and the health. I think these two sectors are badly neglected. So we as an academician, we as a teacher need to understand what are the reasons and how we can give the importance, because we are the people who could highlight and can be able to bring this thing or this issue into the debate and discussion. So the very nature, we all know that critical thinking and debate and discussion is one of the very important issues or the objectives of the higher education. So giving this kind of background, it becomes very important to understand the role and the responsibility of higher education as a whole, but more specifically the higher education, in order to bring a positive transformation and the social change in the society. Unless until we are going to raise the standard of education as a whole, I think social transformation could never be possible. Social change can never be possible. And for realizing the vision of this nation, means to take our country into the category of the developed nation or into the group of the developed nation, we need to develop our higher education in such a way that it could come at par with other higher educations of the developed countries or the highly industrialized countries. So what kind of strategy we are going to make? So already I have discussed with you that financially or a public expenditure, and here target has been given, means 50% at least. So here it becomes very important for me to put it before you that what is the global scenario in terms of the GER. So let me tell you about the United States of America, which is considered to be one of the very important countries in the world. In terms of the development, it is considered to be the developed nation. No doubt about that. If you see the society, if you see the economy, I think you will agree with this fact that it is the developed nation. No doubt. Many more developed nations are there, but it is the most developed nation. And if you see the gross enrollment ratio in higher education in that very country, it is estimated to be around 80 to 88%. So it is in the range of 85 to 90%, roughly speaking. If you see the European Union societies, Western European, so EU, I think over there it is ranging, or it falls, all these countries falls into the range of 65 to 70. And if you see the scenario of Germany, I think 70% plus, I think gross enrollment ratio is existing today. And one country which is very startling and very fascinating, that is existing, that is located in our own Asia country, Asian continent. Korea, take the example of Korea. I think 94 to 95% gross enrollment ratio is there. And as I discussed with you, the demographic dividend. So many countries in East Asia, they have taken the advantage of the growth. When they were have this kind of opportunity of demographic dividend, like Vietnam, and then of course South Korea and Singapore and many more countries, they have reaped the benefits of the demographic dividend. And here I will also discuss with you, I will put it before you that it is a well-known fact that the stage of demographic dividend is not going to stay for all times to come. Means this demographic dividend and this kind of opportunity, golden opportunity, is not going to stay for all times to come. It all began in our own country, in our own situation in 2005, 2006. So almost 20 years are left. 20 years have gone. So only 30 years are left. By 2055, if we don't grab this opportunity to convert the youth into the human capital or the human resource, I think we will miss the bus. So same kind of population after 25 or 30 years down the line, I think it will come into the bracket of the old age, as the West is finding it difficult, because for old people, I think we need the other kind of policy, social security, and many issues are there. So here is the opportunity from social science point of view or from economic minds, grab, I think, golden opportunity and appropriate time for India to take advantage. And this could be only, again, I have already put it before you, that only by acquiring education, only by providing education, skills, training, and the health, I think we will be able to. And already there is a glaring example that we are getting a lot of remittances. So our economy also required the human capital, means a skill developed person. And of course, we will have the surplus. Definitely, we can supply to other parts of the world. In return, we will get the remittances. And we understand the importance of the remittances. That very remittances is used for the progress or the economic development of the nation. As we all know that there is a vision to which already have a Vikshit Bharat or developed nation. I think again it becomes very important to pinpoint that this situation is going to be used by our own economy, and many strategies have been formulated, and many way of doing the kind of things becomes very important, in the sense that only if we have the vision, the things are not going to be realized into the reality, could not be brought into the reality, in the sense that for that we need to have the strategy. And the one strategy, of course, we have a very, in a way, we have had a very good progressive policy despite its limitation. So how we are going to make it rather more implementable, because it's a roadmap. And education is the panacea. Let me put it before you, education must be considered as a panacea. Means I think it would be remedy for all social or the economic evils. And many economists have come with the idea that one very eminent and the prominent economist, you are Rahman Rajan, has categorically said that if we, this idea is very good, vision is really very appreciable, but unless until we, our economy is going to grow at least 8 plus growth rate is going to take place, I think it will not be any easier for India to make our country or transform our country into the developed nation. So through many social scientists, economists, they are arguing as what we can do so that we will be able to achieve the target or realize the vision of this great nation. So giving this kind of background, so how we, the whole idea behind discussion is, as a teacher, what kind of role we are going to play in the domain of higher education, so that we will be able to convert this population or transform this population into the human capital This is one of the, I think, role. There's a need on the part of the teacher to play our role, and we all know that if you see the national education policy, all provisions have been given how we are going to make our class a effective class, or the learner centric, what kind of strategy would be there. So in details it has been discussed. So with this short span of time, I will not be able to discuss each and every. Many scholars are going to come and they will discuss with you as how to convert the class into the reality. But here I would like to, before my opening my slide and the PPT, I will be very happy to share with you that as I said, or it has been said in this national education policy, that we need to enhance the gross enrollment ratio from what we call it, from 26, 27% to 50%. So you all know that this is not an easy task because time is short, but how we as a out smartly we are going to do it. But at the same time, again, there is a catch. There's a serious issue within that. We all know that our society, which is differentiated on different grounds, women constitute 50% of the national population. We know pretty well. And if you see the presence of the women in any sector of our own country, either higher education, labor participation in economics or the politics, their representation is grossly less, or their representation is not adequate, let me tell you. So here it is again become very important for all of us to work in this direction, as how we are going to become or make the society which would be gender sensitive. So unless until we create the atmosphere over gender issue would be taken into account. Not only this, the buck doesn't stop here. We all know that many sections of the society which are excluded, they are not included, because if you see the total university and the colleges, they all are located in urban areas, and majority of the population lives in the rural areas in our own country today, and they are relatively poor. They don't have resources to send their children to the schools, colleges, or the university. So their children are excluded. So how we can work, how we can do our own exercise or research, so that our system could be made gender sensitive and inclusive, inclusive approach, inclusive India, or inclusive growth. So when we say that GER, whether it is inclusive, I think definitely it is not inclusive. So we as a teacher need to suggest and investigate, or to make a study, deeper study, as how to make this GER, which would be all inclusive, not exclusive. And we, the teachers, and we, the elite sections of the society today, our children get the chance, might like us, get the chance. But what happens to the farmers? What happens to the rural people? They are not able to send there. So there's a problem in terms of the gender. There's a problem in terms of the rural and the urban divide is there. And many caste creed, we all know that they are excluded. So how we can formulate the policy which would be all inclusive, and how we are going to address the challenges of diversity and differentiation in the class. Again, it's a big challenge to all of us. So we all should be sensitive enough, and we should sensitize ourselves to address all these challenges. So after giving this kind of background, let me now, you give me a minute so that I will be able to open my slide, and then I will discuss with you. I'm sorry that I have given a lot of food for thought. It was all food for thought, because I am now going to show you some of the, again, statistical facts and the figures. आफ्ताब भाई,
फरमाए सर।
ठीक है, इट्स फाइन।
अभी विजिबल नहीं हो रहा स्लाइड, स्लाइड अभी दिख नहीं रहा सर।
नहीं, अभी तो दिखेगा ना, अभी दिखाया ही नहीं तो कहाँ से दिखेगा।
जी सर।
नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू शो यू। हमने, मुझे लगा कि बहुत, हाउ मच टाइम डू यू नीड सो दैट वी कुड हैव डिस्कशन?
सर आपका टाइम वैसे सर 1 घंटा आपको लेक्चर, आधा घंटा डिस्कशन है, बट 1/3 1 hour 30 minutes is yours. You can use
और
anyway. 5:30
ओके,
tak, sir.
हमारा कब तक है, बात कब तक बात करनी है? वी हैव
आपका time
बिगन
1.5 hour.
हैं
1.5 hour, sir.
नहीं, we I need to continue it till 5:30. This is like
ठीक.
this. Okay. So you give me
Conclude at
time.
5 o'clock.
I will speak
3:30 to
till
5 o'clock.
I can continue till 5, but I need assurance from your side in the sense from our colleague side that they could raise the question. They could have some questions. So I will be very glad to listen to your question, queries, and observation. So I will continue till 5. There's no problem. And I am assuring you that some questions will be asked. So it will be very encouraging for me. So I think just you give me a time so that I could open this. So already I have discussed with you the role of higher education in 21st century. So basically I am going to discuss the potential of higher education at the global level and how the role of higher education becomes very important, especially in our own society. What kind of impact it has made uh, in this contemporary age, in the contemporary society. So we will discuss. So we will try to understand the mission and the very philosophy of higher education. What kind of role is expected on the part of higher education could play. So we will discuss the roles, philosophy, and definitely we will see all the social institutions, what kind of impact it is going to make or it has made at the global level. So we will try to understand because we are going to understand the role of higher education, of course, in the contemporary society situation. It varies from situation to situation. So let us now proceed. I'm sure that I have given the background in the sense that how we will become very effective in order to transform the population. So here, higher education and society, what kind of role it is going to. So what is the function of education? Just have a look. Very interesting. Junior Martin Luther King, what he argued, what is the statement? See, the function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. So only for administrative purpose, we try to understand or divide the education into the different layers. Means primary sector means primary education, secondary education, tertiary or the higher education. This is all happen. Otherwise, there is a direct connection between all. I think we cannot make the separation between them only for administrative purpose, only for some reason we do it. Otherwise, if we will not be able to make the foundation, because primary and secondary education is a foundation for higher or tertiary education. So these all are interlinked to each other. And when I was saying, so 6% of the GDP or the public expenditure must be made not only to higher education. If you see the share of higher education in our own country, it is very minuscule. Means one, I think point zero, I think point only 5 to 6%. Point. And I think hardly even not 1% we are spending our public expenditure, especially on higher education. So here, let me now proceed further. What are the pillars? And what are the pillars and the philosophy of higher education? What is the function of higher education? Anywhere in any society, I think this is based on four pillars, four philosophy. It is not, the higher education is made for enhancing knowledge, ideas, new generation of ideas and philosophy. And basically through the help of this, by virtue of higher education, we try to seek truth. And of course, it also promotes critical thinking. As we often say that we intellectual freedom. So we need intellectual freedom in our own university, our own higher education, so that we could come with our own ideas. There won't be any kind of boundary, there won't be any kind of hindrance. I think there would not be any kind of intervention, and conserving culture and civilization. So if you see the entire gamut of issue or the things, I think higher education centers around these big philosophy, only four pillars. So these are the pillars on which higher education is built up anywhere. So is the case of our own society. And often we say that knowledge system, Indian knowledge system we are talking. Why? So we will be able to investigate, we will be able to explore, because we are sitting on the pool of resources or the knowledge, because we our past is happened to be very bright, I think very good one. So we need to see something which is relevant. And but it doesn't mean that if some good practices are happening anywhere, we should not I think we should not grab that opportunity. So at the same time, what is the thing we will be able to explore, and what are the things that could be taken or imitated from outside brilliantly or wisely, is become very important. And basically, if you see the philosophy of higher education, especially in the society, how higher education plays its own due role in the society, any case. So it is three major issues the higher education is supposed to address. We all know that change has become vital. All the time we said the only thing that is permanent is change. Many times philosophically we say, and see, we have had three policy, education policy. First was in 1968. What was the need to bring the next policy in 86? Because we need to change each. I think there's this big change which is taking place. I think the situation of 70 or the 60s was not the same in 80s. And what was the situation even in 90s, the same is not continuing. Hence we from time to time we have the other kind of policy, so that we will be able to address the challenges, our contemporary challenges. So change is extremely rapid, and we have seen and we have it experienced, we have witnessed. So first one is this. So it is the function of higher education to understand this issue in the right perspective, in the context, in the changing situation we need to see. And the second, what are the purposes of higher education, we will try to explain. And first five, what are the five key rules of higher education, we will and try to implement in our Indian context. So already we have discussed this thing, changes. I think there's no any kind of disagreement that change is taking place. I think what we were teaching, what we used to used to teach our students with the help of the chalk and talk. So all these things have become obsolete. So now how we are going to use the modern teaching aids, so that maximum there will be an impact, and we can have the maximum attention of the students, because the students are also going to becoming smarter as day by day smarter. So if we follow all the philosophy, all the, I think, teaching aids and our style, I think this is not going to have much say in today's scenario. So according to time, place, and condition, we need to be adaptable. Then we, as a teacher, are going to survive. So many times, some sort of what we call it worry is expressed in terms of the AI. As I told you, that AI is not going to replace the human mind, because nothing is going to replace the human mind. When the radio was invented, even the same kind of worry was expressed at that time, because it is going to replace the human mind. And but we need to be adaptable, we need to use all these technology, and how we will be able to use this technology, so that we can think and we can make the society a better society, progressive society, and technology based society, or knowledge society. So here it becomes so. This is the function of higher education. You must be wondering how. I think what is the function of a teacher? Our job is not only to translate the knowledge to the next generation or to the students, but at the same time, unless until we generate new ideas, new knowledge, new perspective, new understanding, I think we are not going to survive. We are not going to impress the students. We are not going to contribute, in fact. So here it becomes very important for a teacher that they need to be adaptable according to time, place, and condition. Now it is said, or even for a long time, there's a big mismatch between the academia and the required industry on the other hand, or the market forces. So we need to understand the market forces. We need to understand the requirement of the industry. Accordingly, we need to shape our what we call it our syllabus. So what we were teaching, what we used to teach in the 70s or the 80s or 90s, I think things are not going to be repeated. If we are going to teach as it is rightly pointed in the Kothari Commission, that I think we are today in the equality of education is going down day by day, and we are in fact producing unemployable youths. Means those students who have done their masters or even engineering or medical science, they are not up to the marks. So they are unemployable basically to a larger extent. So we need to see what kind of situation, what kind of education to which we all are going to provide so that the students would be employable, means our product would be has the relevance in the market. So we need to, and this is the function of this. So we first need to make research, make innovation, make something, or our style should be in such a way that we can become the role model in the class, and students try to follow without any kind of inhibition. So for that matter, we need to keep abreast our knowledge. And for that matter, this kind of centers have been created. And so how we all are going to work. So if you see the philosophy of the center, MMTTC, or when it was called erstwhile HRDC or the Academic Staff College. So if you see the philosophy of this center, I think it has been said that teachers would come and they will empower themselves by exchanging their ideas. Means basically the function of the center is to motivate us, to sensitize us by interaction of a number of eminent scholars or the scholars. So here already we have discussed, so we have understood. So what are the purposes of higher education? What is for higher education? Of course, to understand the situation, to understand the issues, and why. Take the example of any university. University has its own specific vision and the mission also, and we need to see, and accordingly we are going to implement it over there. So higher education is a rich cultural and scientific asset which enables personal development and promotes economic, technological, and the social change. With the help of research, with the help of doing this kind of exercise, we provide means scientific knowledge, scientific development. So whatever the development that is taking place, this all happens. If you see the European University or North America, say maximum discovery, inventions have taken place only in the university. And so we need to take up our university, which could be considered at par with any developed nations university and the colleges. So it also promotes, as we get the opportunity today, as we are getting the exchange of knowledge, research, and innovation. What basically we are trying to understand, we are motivating ourselves. We also become sensitive on many issues to which I am trying to highlight with all of you, and students with a skill needed to meet ever changing labor markets. As I gave you one example to make my illustration or to make my points clear, that when we talk of the labor, take the example of the Gulf labor or the Indian labor, we are not alone. it's not a monopolistic a monopoly market. So many competition is taking place from other South Asian countries or Southeast Asian countries. So we need to survive. We need to excel over there. If you do, I think it happened in 2015. I think all of a sudden the number of the labor went down in our own case, and it was led by Pakistan and Nepal, because even Nepal is sending its labor to the Gulf countries or to other countries for employment. So here we need to give the rightful kind of skills or the training so that we will be able to compete. Once we will not, and how we are going to make it rationalization over there so that we will be able to sustain. So for that we as a labor specialists, we as a human rights activist, whatever, I think expert on the human rights, because only we are not interested to send our labor in order to get the funds or the money, but at the same time we need to secure their welfare or promote their welfare. At the same time, we will not tolerate, and we will not say that at all costs we need to only have the remittances, but we need to take care of their human rights violation that is taking place. Once you leave your own country, you or me or anybody who is going there becomes very vulnerable. So we need to take care of that. One is again very important. And the role of higher education, what is the role? We all know that I think a role can be played at the local level and the national level, regional level, means Asia as a whole. Take this labor market. I think we need to do Asia as a whole and the global level. As already I have highlighted that we need to work at the global level due to globalization. The whole world is now reduced to a global village. So everything has become very porous, means the political boundary has become very porous. I think you cannot stop the people who are going outside. As I said that we are losing our students due to lack of quality, lack of infrastructure, physical infrastructure. Students are thinking that, or their parents are thinking, if I send our children for getting education in the European university and other universities, they will be private. So we need to address this kind of, yeah, this is the function of higher education. So many challenges are there. Means what are the challenges? Like higher education must necessarily intersect and effectively engage with the economic and social challenges, not only at the university level, but at the national, regional. Take the example of all the function and the mission of all 1200 university in our own country will not be the same. Take the example of the university, Aligarh Muslim University, or even Delhi-based university, and those who are placed in the Northeast. So there's a lot of changes in their mission, their vision, so that the whole idea behind this is how to develop our economy and the society. So how it is going to work at the local level and the state level and regional level and the global level, we as a intellectual, we as a teacher need to see, and accordingly we need to formulate our course content. This is the whole, I think, issue. And how we can revise our syllabus, how we can make our formulate our syllabus so that it could be job oriented one. I think philosophically we say that the function, or the philosophically, in the sense that the higher education is not only made for providing education, for giving the opportunity or produce our output only for getting the job, but immediate, we cannot deny this fact, immediate I think a requirement of higher education is to provide the job opportunity to me, to you, to anybody. And philosophically, it is nothing but the enlightenment which has been brought by higher education, and many kind of things is being done. So let us, the other challenges would be like, we all know that imperatives of equity and the redress. Already I have shared with you that gender, socially excluded sections of the society. So how we will be, I think this could be only possible, social justice could only be possible if we ameliorate the condition of higher education. And it is taught, or this kind of inculcation is there in the system. And of course, the other challenge is democratization of the state and society. If we see the any for that matter, I think education has played a very critical role in order to make a society which would be a democratic society. So for healthy democracy and liberal state, or what we call the liberal state, I think the role of higher education as a whole, and more specifically higher education, becomes very important. Building of a culture of human rights. So in order to promote the culture of human rights, again, with the help of like all the teachers, I think can play as how to secure the poverty, how to ensure the human right condition of the migrant workers, or the human, or any. I think UDHR, if you see the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights, it is taught everywhere in the university or elsewhere. Why it has been taught in the university or higher education? So that we can build up the society over there. There would be any kind of human rights violation, irrespective of the boundary, and creating a vibrant civil society and promoting a culture of vigorous and critical intellectual public debate. So these all challenges, as I said, that these are the challenges, these are the issues on which higher education is playing or has played and can play a very vital role in order to make, as we say, that democracy is itself a process. Take the example of many South Asian countries. We often say that we have only the electoral kind of democracy. We have the nascent democracy. It is known by different. Means we don't have the matured kind of democracy. It varies from even within the region. South Asian region, it varies from country to country, and we know that. And every country claims that yes, I have democracy. But we understand the what kind, if the mature democracy is there, so what kind of elements are missing? So it is only done, and it could only be made possible with strengthening the culture of higher education, or making the elements of higher education stronger. So here, these are the principles. So in nutshell, equity and quality, social development, democratization, academic freedom, institutional autonomy, effectiveness and efficiency, and public accountability. If we are going to strengthen the culture or the status or the standard of higher education, definitely all these principles are going to be met. These all principles are going to be strengthened in some ways. So these are the 5 key roles of higher education. The higher education directly plays, means it also cultivates the highly educated people. As I was talking about the human capital or the human resource, I think this could be only made possible in the sector, by the sector of higher education. Means we the job as how to provide the skills, how to provide the, how we can make the people which would consider the doctors, engineer, IT professionals, so many kind of things. I think it is also very important that now we talk a lot about soft skills. These all other degree, diploma, and all these things become very important. Again, the other things mean soft skills. How the higher education is going to provide the soft skills so that they can be made socially relevant to the society, or they could be also made relevant in the ongoing global market or the national market. So this is where creation of highly educated personality, research and development is again the function of, and we are all are doing all the time. It is said that you are not only supposed to transact the knowledge, but to generation of knowledge, as we also supervise and we also make our research in our own university, engagement with the intellectual and cultural life of the society. So every some days we go to attend the seminar conferences, we also read out the paper whatever we have written, and of course democracy and citizenship. Again, only if we are going to strengthen the culture of higher education or standard of higher education, I think democracy and citizenship is going to be ensured. Democracy is going to be matured only with the help of education. Developmental needs and the challenges. I think this is very important. Many projects are undergoing on in your university or many university to read out and to do this. So after giving this kind of background, I think background or the food for thought. Again, let me now discuss with you about higher education in our own country is again very important in this multicultural or in this society. So if you see this situation in the globalized economy to which we all are talking, and we all are going to address what are the requirement of the globalized economy and the society. Let me tell you, when we talk of the globalized economy and society, I think same thing we are going to holistic curriculum development. We need to capture only we are going to make our students prepare in our students in such a way that they would be relevant not only in a specific situation but also at the at elsewhere. And already I have discussed with you and emphasis on software skills. After engineering, after MBA, after all that, I think soft skills becomes very important. Experiential learning, as we say that, earning while learning or learning while earning. So this becomes very important to make ourselves, to make the students a relevant one. Global exposure has become the need of the day. And we all know that this is very lifelong learning and a skill upgradation. Taking these 5 points into the mind, I think if we prepare our syllabus and all this, so today we all know that if you are going to submit your proposal to some of the funding agencies at the national level, it is asked that, like Impress and the Stride, it has been asked that you need to take somebody who is other than of your own institution. He would be other discipline. And so 2 3 persons come together and write the proposal in such a way that it could address many other issues. Then you will be awarded. So things have become very complex, are getting very complex. So we need to take all these into the consideration while preparing our students. So while taking, I think your syllabus, your course content becomes very important. What kind of course, and this could be made possible by taking the exposure, by taking the expertise from not only from your university, from outside the, not only from outside the university, outside the border, means anywhere, because the whole world is now globalized. So we can have our own interaction or academic connections with any person, not only within our own country, but even internationally. This has become very important one. And we all know that in this very fluid situation, very changing situation, I think it becomes very important to provide the frequent training or frequent kind of exposure in seminars, symposium, workshop, or this kind of training to make ourselves updated. So it is said that World Bank, a high quality and well motivated teaching and supportive professional culture are essential in building. As many times and all the time we discuss that how to ensure quality in higher education along with providing access to education to maximum population. As 50%, when we will become 50%, we will go to 70% or 80% like the other countries. So this is again very important. And then already I have discussed with you the current and the future challenge. There is a growth in demand for higher education. As we all know that at the time of 50s, I think not much universities were there. So now the number has gone up to 1200 university and 50,000 colleges are there, and they all are located in urban areas. So here I'm not good. Financial constraints, so many times we have discussed. So there's always problem, especially in the developing countries like South Asian countries. I think we need to now, we have been asked that we need to mobilize the resources and taking the clue, because anyhow we need to enhance the gross enrollment ratio. So public private partnership is now has become the need of the day. And then I think yes, there's a concern for quality. So already I have discussed, so I'm not going to repeat. Technological change affects all disciplines, so there's a need to improve women participation, as we need to make up, because they are grossly underrepresented. So how this issue is going to be addressed, so that we can use our maximum capacity, or optimization of the resources has become the need of the day. So we need to tap the potential of our population, our demographic dividend. So we need to, and to make a better society, or just society, peaceful society, a stable society, I think unless until we are going to address all these issues within that, only by enhancing the gross enrollment ratio, that is not going to resolve the issue. Changing demands of the labor market, I think accordingly we need to there's a response to national or the regional demands. Patterns of unemployment are changing. We all know that. So there's a need to change the course content accordingly. All these requires increasing adaptability among the teaching, like all of us. So already I have half an hour I have discussed, and on the other hand, this is also the fact of the life that how we are going to improve, like inadequate infrastructure, to which already, and faculty crunch means shortage of faculty, low enrollment ratio, overcrowded classroom. This is a study which has been done by many scholars, and they come with the idea that their teachers taught ratio should be 1:20 or 25. But if you see in many university and the colleges, you need to teach one at a time more than 100 or 200 students. So we need to address this, and low base of researchers and gender ethnic imbalances. So we as a part of the educational system, and the very important stakeholders, we need to give our input. So you must be wondering what we can do. We can make research and suggest and give our major findings to the apt body or the policy maker making body, so that it could be reflected in the policy, because we are the educational practitioners. So what is the status of research in our own country? Already we know that higher education, if you measure the status of higher education, you need to see the problems relating to a status, relating to research. Not teaching is of course important, but at the same time, research is also very important. And here I would like to bring to your notice that, see, in our own situation, if you see today, I think we are not spending much. 0.62% of the GDP only we are sending out. We have never crossed more than 1%. It is always around 0.8, 0.7, 0.6, 0.5, like this. And what we are producing, so there is a ratio again, 216. I think it is, I think a little bit much more, because it has been, so now it has reached to 300 only in case of that one. And what is basically in France, 2.2% of its GDP only on research. And see in the United States of America, 2.7%. And if you see the ratio of, I think, teachers, 4,300, and see the case of China, it again invests 2.11% of its GDP. So here only 0.6, even not 1%. So almost more than three times more in case of China, and 1,200 researchers per million. And here 3%, it's the positive side, but it is not more or not that much. So we need to see where do we stand, unless until we are going to spend at least 6% of our GDP, to which we have been are going for more than 45 years. So this becomes very important to discuss with all of you. Why I am discussing, why I am putting all these statistics, so that you can come with your own investigation, with your own a depth study and suggest the same to the policy making or the state, so that state higher education as a whole could be taken care of. So in order to meet all these challenges, of course teachers are important, but the top level management is also very important. The administrative staff also important, even support staff is also important. So now there's a suggestion on the part of all of you, like I think this center is not only going to cater the needs of the teachers, but even the program is organized or it will be organized for the benefit of the support staff, for middle level functionaries, even for the vice chancellor. NEPA or many universities, many educational institutions are organizing the program in order to give the exposure to the vice chancellor. Even those who would be the potential vice chancellor or the directors. I think there was a program initiated by Government of India in 2008, but due to pandemic, I think that has been derailed. And it is this program to which I am addressing you is the offshoot of that program. But the Government of India has many program that is in the pipeline that is going to begin, as it is clearly said, the research culture, as how to create a research culture in the university. NRF is going to take the shape, and along with all the institutions, even National Research Foundation is going to give the fund to all the academic institutions, through the academic institution to all of you, in order to undertake your research, and that would be published in the Scopus publications and all that. So we are preparing ourselves. Government is doing a lot of things, but many more initiatives must be taken on the part of the government. I think we now the time has come to compete. So as a teaching staff, as a faculty, what we all are doing and what we all are supposed to do. So here, there should be awareness and understanding of different ways in which students learn knowledge, skills, and attitude. There should be commitment on the part of all the teachers, like all of us, for a scholarship in the discipline and maintaining professional standards and knowledge of current development. So we need to update ourselves. Then we are going to survive and we are going to excel in it. For bringing excellence in higher education, first of all, teachers need to become excellent. So only excellent teacher can bring excellence in higher education. Of course, infrastructure is important, no doubt about that. But along with that, or even rather more important, that what kind of quality of teachers are there, because our role is going to be the multiplier effect. So we are going to work in different ways, holding different positions as a researcher, as a scientist, as a supervisor, as a mentor. So we all are going to work, and of course, administration is important. And who becomes the administrator or the vice chancellor? Amongst us, they are. So we are. If we become excellent, definitely we are going to our excellence is going to be reflected in the higher education. So for research skills, writing a good research proposal, networking and fundraising for the projects, managing PhD students and the researcher, project management, particularly relating to international partnership projects. So now I think many times we often say that there's a lack and there's a shortage of funds. So those who are interested to undertake the study, I think even today, there's no dearth of opportunity at the national level, even at the international level, like World Health Organization, World Bank, UNDP, UNHCR, so many organizations. So what basically it is required? It is required on the part of all of us to motivate ourselves or create passion amongst us for the research. So let us now proceed further. I think I'm going to end. I will not take much of your time, as I have been asked to finish by 5, and it has also been said, or I have been assured, that lot of questions are expected on the part of all of you. Otherwise, I can continue till 5:30. So that would be gross injustice to all of you. So in order to compete our higher education with global standards, there's a need to take why we are discussing things as the whole world is globalized. And on the part of government, many regulations have come. On the basis of that, many private universities have been established in our own country. So there's and higher education is in the hands of both center and the state. So if you see the number of the university, maximum university are in the hands of the state, and that is different story that these state funded universities are running shortage of funds. There's a crisis of funds because maximum revenue is all the time in the hands of the center. So there is a mismatch, sometimes complain also. So what my argument over here is that now over and above private university and public university, now the one more dimension has been added. You must be aware of this fact that the foreign universities is going to come, are going to come in our own in our own country, and they are going to establish their campus. So here my argument is that what kind of university is going to come, whether the good quality of the foreign university is going to come or only bogus universities are going to come. So there should be some sort of regulation. So what my argument and what you must agree with me that there should be healthy competition, positive competition between private university and the public university along with foreign university. And if good foreign universities are going to come, and if we are going to allow, to which I think already has been passed, so we need to make our public university stronger and stronger. Then they will be in a position to compete with that. And why it has been done? Simply because we need to catch up with the gross enrollment ratio, and we need to have or to give the access to the majority of the population. And we are also interested to grab the opportunity of the demographic dividend. So this is, I think, idea is good. Idea is no doubt good, and that must be appreciated. But that should be in a very systematic and a formal manner. So there will be regulation of the entry of the foreign. So we need to evolve this kind of setting quality standards, providing financial support for internationalization and promoting of international collaboration. So they can have the collaboration. So we are going to be benefit in same way. We will also benefit them. They are going to come over here in order to earn money. We all know that. But in a way, if they are going to provide the opportunity to our young minds, I think we are going to be benefited. So there's nothing wrong in it. So research, in nutshell, what I mean to that, there should be coordinated effort on the part of each stakeholder, means top level management, academic staff, support staff, to bring excellence in a higher level. Only if we are, of course, important, most important even you can say, but at the same time, I think other stakeholders are also very important role. Unless until we means the other stakeholders means state is not going to fund in a very big way, I think problems are not going to resolve. So government must create an enabling environment for the university to thrive globally. So we should give a free hand. We should be also financially support to the existing university. And we are saying, I think you must agree with me that what is the position of the university. So infrastructure wise, we are becoming very poor, and there's a need for some developmental activities, renovation activities, and many more ICT, ICT availability of the ICT. Then we will be able to, I think, hold the class in the very effective manner. At the same time, we will also be able to generate or create the culture of academic, to which we call a academic culture, consisting of a student, or we can be able to teach the students in a better way, and we will be able to create the students which would be relevant for the global market, and we will emerge as a center of global knowledge hub. If we emerge, to which we all are, we have the potential, definitely we are going to contribute to the development, global development or the national development in a very positive manner. So I think there is a direct connection between the higher education and the society. Society could be definitely developed if we raise the standard in terms of the quality, and access means quantity and quality, both ways. If we are going to raise the standard of education as a whole, definitely it will have the positive impact in the society. We can be able to make the society which will be scientific, which can be, I think, progressive society, and we will also be able to reduce poverty, unemployment, and social equity as well. So education has a big potential to do all this. What basically is required to have the good governance or the better management, how this education, existing educations are going to manage effectively. It all depends on our own motivation, our own mission. So if we wish to catch up, or to bring our system at par with the developed nation, I think we need to do a lot. And as a teacher, we all are ready to play our very proactive role. Whatever we have played, we will definitely, if we feel motivated, definitely we will contribute much more. And that is the philosophy, and that is the mission of this national, I think, NEP orientation and sensitization program. So we must appreciate that government or the state has thought that they have brought this kind of, or they have created this kind of structure so that we all have got the chance to learn from each other, to exchange our ideas intellectually. It is very stimulating. So this kind of program should be organized frequently, and we, the teachers, must get the chance to learn from each other, or like this platform. So it's a relatively better and sustainable, what we call it, the system or the platform. Other than this, there should be also opportunity given to all of us to have the exposure at the globally by providing funds or the TADA to go to different university, different system over there. We will, if we learn it, definitely we will impart the same to the students. So with these words, once again, I am very, very thankful to the entire staff of the MMTTC, Aligarh Muslim University, which is in fact my alma mater. I did my PU at that time, PUC, pre-university course, then graduation in economics honors, and then masters in economics. Thereafter, I moved to Jawaharlal Nehru University way back in 1986. Then I did another master's, and then MPhil and PhD. So now PhD, MPhil is disbanded, omitted. So only the opportunity to which right now is to do our education quickly and join the professional endeavor. So once again, I think we all are feeling motivated, and definitely we will contribute whatever we can do it. And I am sure that we are all are going to work in the direction so that our country could be taken in the category or in the group of the developed nations. So once again, I'm thankful to the director, uh, MMTTC, for providing, and Dr. Aftab Ahmad Sahab for giving a great chance to share my thoughts and experiences. So I'm stopping here and expecting a lot of questions on your part, so that I could also feel motivated. Your questions, your queries, your observations are going to motivate me. And I'm just assuring that I will try my level best to answer your question. But I'm not sure that, but asking question is a beautiful thing. So you should not uh, uh, give up this opportunity to ask, or keep me or put me in uncomfortable position. So thank you once again to each and every colleagues of mine who have joined this program across the country, especially to Aligarh Muslim University. I know that you all belong to different disciplines, and so now whatever I knew, I shared with you. Now it's your chance to respond to my questions, respond to my deliberation. Thank you once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your nice deliberation, I will say. Of course, this lecture was very motivating for us and for the participants of this program. I would like to ask participants if anyone wish to ask any question or query from our esteemed speaker. Bharti Chakrabarti ma'am ने hand raise किया है.
Any question, any observation or anything?
Yes, yes. भारती मैम कुछ कहना चाहते हैं आप? शायद लग रहा है गलती से इनकार हो गया. Participants, if you have any query or question, जी मैम, भारती मैम.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
It is very good session. वो गलती से वो लग गया था हाथ, इसीलिए स्पीकर हैंड रेस हो गया. बट बहुत अच्छा सेशन था. थैंक यू
ये
सर.
तो एप्रिसिएशन हो गया, ये तो एप्रिसिएशन हो गया, तारीफ हो गई. वैसे मैं चाहता हूं कि क्वेश्चन पूछें आप लोग, कुछ भी, एनीथिंग. आई थिंक वी ऑल आर द एजुकेशनल प्रैक्टिशनर्स, वी आर प्रैक्टिसिंग. So you must face many difficulty. I know we belong to the developing nations. So a developing nation has its own syndrome. So I am expecting a lot of comments, observation, relating to higher education or anything. I will be extremely happy to respond to your question. कोई भी आप हिंदी में पूछे, इंग्लिश में पूछे, जिसमें भी, लैंग्वेज नो बात, बट बांग्ला में नहीं. वैसे
सर, ये जो एनईपी का जो सिलेबस हम लोग अभी पढ़ा रहे हैं, उसमें जो दिखाया गया है, जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज है फॉर द स्टूडेंट्स, बट हम लोग उतना तो दे नहीं पा रहे हैं ड्यू टू लैक ऑफ फैकल्टी एंड एक्सेट्रा. तो पूरा उपयोग कैसे करें हम लोग?
अच्छा, बहुत ही अच्छा, मैं समझ गया. आई गॉट योर क्वेश्चन. देखिए, ऐसा है कि ऑलरेडी आई हैव शेयर्ड विद यू दैट वी आर लिविंग इन अ डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज. If you see the history and the journey of our own country, it is not very old. And a university as despite all limitations, ठीक है ना, limitations सारी हैं, परेशानियां सब हैं, लेकिन we as a teacher feel that we must feel that we belong to the very minuscule sections of the society and extremely privileged. Let me tell you, we are very privileged, extremely belonging to 2 to 3% of the population, national population. So it is bounden duty, means moral duty on the part of all of us to give it back to the society. Whatever we have got it from the society, we are also earning a lot of respect today. So teachers today even are holding a lot of respect. There's no doubt about that. So see, in the adverse situation, how we are going to play our role is again very important. And for that matter, all the time, if all the infrastructure is there, everybody can do it. But with the less infrastructure, with minimum infrastructure, if we are doing it, that matters a lot. And of course, the day will come that we will have everything. But we should not wait for that day, that when we will have all the infrastructure resources, then we will start doing our research. Of course, there is a lot of impediments, hindrance, it comes in the way of our teaching. For effective teaching, lot of things are required. As I said that there should be ratio of 21:25 or at most 30. But this situation is hardly existing anywhere in your university, in my or elsewhere. Lot of resources are could be I think would be available for undertaking the research. Unless until we make the research, I think we cannot be a good teacher. See, the students have become very smarter today. If you go with the secondary hand information and those information which is available in the public, the students are not going to listen to us. So what basically on the basis of information, if we generate new perspective, new ideas, or on the basis of our own experience, I think we can have the attention. As it is said, and it is the mandate of the national education policy that all the time being critical is a good thing. I admire. But at the same time, I think whatever the limitation of that, we need to go. And competition, we can see our university, structure of the university. We stand nowhere. If you make the comparison of our own academic institution in terms of the physical infrastructure, we stand nowhere. Very poor, let me tell you. But whatever the resources are there, we need to. And if you see the infrastructure and everything in the 50s or the 40s, I think we are far ahead today. And see our even monetary. So basically a teacher, what is the requirement of the teacher, or the requirement of the human being? Basically we need name, fame, money. These are the things, and these are the base, I think, fundamental needs of the human being. And here we have everything. So yeah, teaching profession is respected, I think, globally. So is the case of in our own country. But we need to give it back to the society, and we need to create our own niche in the university, in the college, or in the society. So we need to establish the relationship of the academia to the industry, to the academy of the labor market, to everything. And if we are passionate, for that we need to generate passion amongst all of us. Mind you, I think this is the only profession in the world that is the best. I am not saying that since I belong to this, but there's a logic. See, here, all kind of virtues are there. If you wish to earn your name, fame, I think this is very much possible. And technically speaking, you may retire, I will retire, Aftab Sahab will also retire after some years. But technically speaking, this is going to happen. But if you read, if you study, if you write, if you generate ideas, you are going to be asked all the time, and you will be relevant for the society for all times. As long as you are alive, I am alive, somebody is alive, I think we are going to contribute, because it is, we say that intelligentsia, intellectual, the teachers, researchers, scientists. So here, and even if you see the other society, United States of America and many other society, I think even technically, no retirement age, even you can work as long as your health allows you. And even here, this kind of situation, this kind of society is going to be formed here. You can contribute. So it is directly relating to your passion or motivation. So, and here already I have shared, again I am repeating that the function and the philosophy of this center, MMTTC now, is to motivate, to create empowerment, to empower all of us, to motivate us, to sensitize us towards the society. As I said that we belong to the very minuscule sections of the society, elite society, let me tell you, and we are extremely privileged. So now the turn comes, I think that, it is our turn to give it back to the society, and we should give it. And if we are motivated, definitely we will give it back to the society, because we need to teach. And see, I think if you make the comparison of the administration and this profession, I think there's no match. I'm saying in different angles. I think ours, as we say, the academic integrity, often say the academic integrity is a very central figure in academia. I think we, the teachers, cannot be ensured like administration. In administration, it is required that you need to reach the office. If 9, okay, 9:05 is okay. But and you need to clear all the files, 5, 7, 8 files. You will do. Your work is over. But here, your principal can only ensure you that you should come in time. You can come there. How best you have taught, how best you are going to deliver the goods, how best you are going to connect with your students. It has nothing to do. Nobody can do it. I think not your vice chance, not your principal, not your head. Only time could be ensured. So hence it is called as a noble profession. It is called. It depends on your integrity, on your inner conscience. How vast you have taught, how best you have taught, and that comes from within. So we are basically, as it is said, I think I am not saying, but I am just reiterating that it is said that destiny of society is created in the classroom. Who creates the society? Who is basically the central figure in the class? We, the teachers. So we call as a destiny maker. And if there's something wrong with the destiny maker, what will happen to 30, 35 batches of your entire life? I think either I can just destroy 35 years, 35 years, 35 batch in one go in the entire career of my life. So here it should come from within, and this is only possible. I think all the time you all know that it is considered to be very noble, it's considered to be very respected. So how we can earn respect, how we can maintain this respect or increase respect, it is in our hands. I think respected in the sense that your students, my students, if I have taught, you can forget your students. If you have taught well, if I am teaching well, I think we will forget this, but students will never forget. They will reach at some positions, even then they hold a lot of respect. So it is very respectable and we can command respect. So we take this profession in that perspective. This is what, and that is the purpose of this center. That is the philosophy of this center, so that we could earn something. So now we are educated enough, smart enough, experienced enough. If we wish to um, make the life of the student, we can do. We can make, at the same time we can also break. So destiny of a student, destiny of society, destiny of the country is in our hands. And it has been said, I'm not saying, I think many places you must see that it has been said that the destiny of any society is created or shaped in the class. We basically shape the students, what kind of future they will have. So if they are digress, we can bring them on the right path, on the right direction. This is the function, as we say, the supervisor, guide, or mentor. It is known by different names. So many good terminology has been created or innovated in order to stick to our profession, to all of us. Teacher,
Thank
master,
you, sir.
guru. So here, I think your question means, of course, impediments are there, hindrances are there, but if we do it, and here again, let's be very self-centered in the sense that if you are doing anything,
Thank
anything,
you, sir. We have another session at 5:30.
so we have crossed 5.